Hi everyone, welcome to estudy.in, and if you've not already subscribed to the channel, please do so, and please don't forget to click on the like button if you like the video, and please do leave your comments in the comment section. So let's start. The topic for today is lists, okay, and lists come under the topic data structures in Python. So what are lists? So basically lists are comma separated values written within square brackets. So let's see, we have an example here. S1 is equal to, or you just put square brackets, and we have put a few elements here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Basically first few even numbers. So here we have a list of even numbers starting from 2 till 10. Now these are called the items or the elements of the list, okay. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 are the elements of a list which are separated by comma, and we put them in square brackets, so it becomes a list. Okay. Now the second point says that the elements, usually elements or the items of a list are homogeneous. Homogeneous means same. So here if you see, all the elements are of the same type, that means all are integers. If you see another list here, we have a list of strings here. So we have all strings here. So generally the items of a list are homogeneous. Now, the next thing which we need to remember is the lists are mutable. Mutable here means the lists can be changed. Unlike strings which are immutable, lists are mutable. So that means the elements of the list or the items of the list can be changed, and we will see how these can be changed later. So here we have a few lists. So first one is creating a list of numbers. Second list is an empty list. We have just put square brackets here, and we are not putting any value here. So it is an empty list. And the third list is a list of few strings, names of some fruits. Okay. See first how to create a list in Python. Okay. So let's start with here. So I'm going to create a few list here. So what we can do is we can write S, or we can give any name, is equal to, put square brackets. Now we are creating a list of even numbers. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, so this is a list, and press enter. Now if you want to print this list, you can simply type S. So it will print the elements of the list. So this is how it can be printed. Okay. Now let me create an empty list. So if you want to create an empty list, you just type C is equal to and square brackets. So now when you print C, it is, because it is an empty list, it does not print any elements. Now the third list which we can create is, let's create a list of some fruits. Okay, so F is equal to, and I'm putting square brackets here within the double quotes or single quotes, that's your choice. So we create some fruit names, whatever fruits you like. Okay, and here, okay, the thing is that we can repeat names here. The items can be repeat same. Okay, so within the list we can have duplicate items. So I've created a list of fruits here. Okay, now if you print, so it just prints the names. Okay, so the same names which we created here. So this is how the list can be created, and of course we can print the list using print function also. So if you write print F, so it will print the okay, here we put the wrong brackets. So print F, so it prints the elements of the list. Okay, so this is how we've learned how to create a list. So let's move on. Now the next thing is that here, concatenation. That means we can join to the elements of the list using the plus operator. So if I have a list, let's suppose I have this list, and I write something like this: C is equal to S plus 5, 6, 7. So when you print C, it creates a new list with all the elements 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 5, 6, 7. Of course, you could have joined them in the same list also, but in this case I've created a new list. So let's see how we can do this concatenation on lists using the concatenation operator or the plus operator. So if you print S here, we'll take this example only, so we have this S. So let me just write like this: S plus, I'm going to add a few more numbers here, 12, 14. Okay, so we've added two more items here. So you see, it prints like this. So now when I print S, you see, so the difference here is it has concatenated, but the original list remains unchanged. It is, okay, the list S remains unchanged, but when you say S plus, it has concatenated. So if you want to store these new elements in the list S, then you have to write something like this: S is equal to S plus, then the new elements, let's say 12, 14. Okay, now if I print S, it prints the new list with the two additional elements. Okay, so this is how we can use plus to add elements to the list, and in the next video we will learn about another function using which we can add the elements to the list. But as of now, you can just remember that plus can be used to concatenate to the list. Okay, now next is indexing. What is indexing? Now this is a very important concept. Indexing, basically, let's understand the meaning of index. Of course, those of you who have done some programming earlier would know what an index is. For example, like the ones who have a background in C language, so they must be knowing that what indexes are, because they're similar to lists here are similar to arrays in C, so we use the concept of indexing there. So but here, for those of you who have not done any programming language earlier, let us understand the concept of index. Index is used to obtain individual elements. That means individual elements from a list we can, if we want, we can use index for that. And remember that index always starts from 0. Okay, so now let's say we have this list of even numbers 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So the index or the position of the first element is always 0. That means if I want to refer to the first element of the list, the index, it would be by index, and the index of the first element is always 0. So if you have a list of 5 elements, what is the index of the last element? If we start from 0, so this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. So the index of the last element in a list of 5 elements would always be 4, because the counting starts from, index starts from 0. Okay, so always remember that the first element is always at the index 0. So S0, if we write S0, it gives us the first item of the list, which in this case is 2. If you write S minus 1, now here in Python, we have this new concept S minus 1, it gives the last item of the list, that means 10. Okay, so if you want to refer to the last item, you can say S minus 1, which gives you the last item of the list. Okay, so what will S3 give here? If you write S square bracket 3, which element would it give? So of course S3 would be the fourth element. So which is the fourth element? C 0, 1, 2, 3. That means it would give us 8. Okay, so let's try indexing. So we have this list S here. So let's say we write S0 square. So it gives you the first element of the list, that is 2. Now if I write S minus 1, so what should it give? It should give us 14, which is the last element. If I write S minus 3, what should it give? It should give, this is minus 1, this is minus 2, and this is minus 3. So it should give S minus 3 should give us 10. Okay, so this is how we can get, let's say S3. S3 would be the fourth element of the list. So what is the fourth element of the list? Here would be 8. So S3 is 0, 1, 2, and 3. So this is the third. 3 here is the index, and index always starts from 0. So if this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So S3 will give us 8. So this is what indexing means, to extract individual elements from the list. Okay. Now that we have understood indexing, so let's understand what is the meaning of slicing. Okay. Now slicing, we've in the previous video on strings, I've explained the meaning of slicing. So those of you who have not watched that video, you can watch strings and you will understand slicing. But again, I'll explain here. It returns a new list containing the requested elements. Okay. So if we have a list like this, so if I write slice means a portion, a part of something. Okay. So if I say S0, and you see this 2 dots, they stand for colon. Okay. So we have a colon symbol here and 2. So this basically returns the items from position 0. That means from index 0. Index 0 is included here. Okay. So from index 0 to index 2. 2 is excluded here. So that means returns the items from the position 0, which is included, to 2, which is excluded. That means it will return you 2 items starting from 0 position. 0 and 1. So here the output of this would be 2, 4, because starting from 0 position we have element 0, then at 1 position we have 4. So 2 position it will stop, because 2 is not included, 2 is excluded. Okay, so this is the output. Now let's take up another example. We have written 2, 5. So we want so basically 2, 5 means starting from second position, second index, give us the elements till 4th. 5th element is not included. So 5th is excluded. So it will give us 2 elements at the second position, at the third position, and at the fourth position. So what is the element in the second position? This is 0, this is 1, this is 2. So 2, 3, and 4. So it is giving us 6, 8, 10. So another way we can understand slicing is, see, it will give you 3 numbers. So 5 minus 2 is 3. It will give you 3 items starting from the second position. So again here 4 minus 0 colon 2. It would give you 2 minus 0, 2 items starting from the second position. That means 0 and 1. So this is another way we can understand it. So let's do this and see what it does. Okay, here, so let's give a slice. So here we say 0 colon 2. Okay, So let me first print S so that we know what are the elements. So these are the elements of S. Okay, this is a list. So if I say S0 colon 2, what do I get? So starting from it will give us 2 items. 2 minus 0 is 2. So it gives us 2 items starting from 0 position, that is 0 and 1. Okay. So another example, if I say S2 colon 5. So if I say 2 colon 5, that means 5 minus 2. It should give us 3 items starting from second position. What is the second position? 0, 1, 2. So it should give us 3 items starting from second position. That means it should give us 6, 8 and 10. Okay. Now another example is if I simply write S and I do not give the starting position, but I just give the ending position. So here it would presume that the starting position is 0. So it will give us items, 3 items starting from 0 position. That means 0, 1 and 2. So 0, 1 and 2 would be 2, 4, 6. So we should get 2, 4, 6. Okay. Similarly, you can skip the ending index. So if I write S3 colon and I do not give the ending index, so it would go and give us the items till the last position. So what is the third position? 0, 1, 2, 3. So 3 onwards, that means this should be the output 8, 10, 12, 14. So this is what we are getting, 8, 10, 12 and 14. So this is how we can do slicing. Okay. Now, the next thing is which we want to learn is okay, after slicing, we have lists are mutable. As I told you earlier, lists are mutable means we can change the elements of the list. Okay, so we can replace a single value. That means just one value. If we go wrong somewhere, let's suppose we have this list 2, 4, 6, 7, 10. Now, if instead of 7 we wanted 8, so we should know which position or which index we want to change. So this is the third index. So we will write S3 is equal to 8. So now if you print the list, it would have changed. Similarly, we can replace multiple values at the same time. Okay, so let's suppose we have this list of vowels A, E, I, O, U, and we want to capitalize the second and the third vowel. So the second position is for 1 basically. So 1 colon 3. So this we can give a slice like this and we can change the values. So when you print it, it will give you the output like this. So let's try this. So let's suppose we have this list here, or let me create a new list. So we say E is equal to 2, 4, 6, 7, 10. Okay, so we have a new list. Now let's print this. So we're getting this. We want to change this 7. Instead of 7, it should be 8. So let's say E, and we should know which position is this. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So this is the third position. So in the square bracket, we will write 3 is equal to. Now what is the new value that we want? We wanted 8. Press enter. Now when you print E, so it is printing 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay. Now we want, let's suppose we let's create another list. Let's suppose we have a list of vowels. So V is equal to, put the square brackets, A. Okay, A, E, I, O and U. Okay, so we have this list. Now I want to capitalize E and I. So what I would do is put the name of the list, and the second position is basically 0 and 1. So we will write from 1 colon and 1, and then we want to change this and this. So this is 0, 1, 2. So we will write 1 colon 3. So that means starting from first position, it will change 2 characters. 3 minus 1 is 2. So now we should give the new list. So the new values are capital E, comma, capital I. Okay, and close this. So that's it. Now if you print, so see, we have this new list. So we can replace. So lists are mutable or changeable. Okay, so this is how you can change the elements of the list. Okay, now moving on. The next is remove elements from the list. How can we remove the elements from the list? So let's suppose this is a list and we want to remove a few elements from the list, and we just have to give the slice here, the elements which we want to remove, and after that we put empty square brackets, so those elements would be removed. And if you want to clear the entire list, this is how you can clear the entire list. That means, see, if you simply write S and then simply put colon here, that means we are saying slice, so we have not given the starting position and we have not given the ending position, so it will presume starting from 0 till the end, and it will remove all the elements from the list. So see, let's see how we can do this. Let's try to remove this list. So we have here V. So let's try to remove a few elements from the list. We want to remove this capital E and I. So we will again write V 1 colon 3 is equal to, put empty square brackets. So now when you print V, so it has removed the capital letters, these E and I, 1 and 2, first position and the second position. Okay. If you want to remove the entire list, what you will do is you will write V and like this, and that means this refers to the entire list. Okay, so this is equal to, just put the empty square brackets, that means you want the empty list. So now if you print V, so all the elements of the list are deleted. Okay, now there are some other ways of removing entire list. One is this, let's see, different ways of clearing an entire list. So we have a list. One, this method we've already learned. Another is a clear function which we can use for lists. So when you write s.clear, it clears the entire list. And the third is the del statement, which can be used with lists. So when you write del s and square brackets and colon, it removes the entire list. Okay, so we can try this command also. So we have this list here, E. So let's, if you print the E, so see we have this list. So when I say E dot clear, it will clear the entire list. Okay, so remove all the elements from the list. So now when I print E, there's nothing in E. Okay, so similarly, if we want, we have another list, I suppose S. So we have this S. So if you want to use the third method, so we will write del, and then we will write S and put square bracket. So now if you print S, it would have cleared the entire list S. Okay, so let's move on. The next is nesting the lists. We can create, nesting means creating lists containing other lists. Okay, so nesting means creating lists containing other lists. That means I can have a list which has another list within it. Okay, so here let's see, we have this list A of 3 elements 1, 3, 5, and we have another list B of 3 elements, that means positive even numbers 2, 4, 6. So we've created a third list C, in which we've written A comma B. So when you write like this, what are the elements of this new list? It is firstly this A list, that means 1, 3, 5 and 2, 4, 6. So this is how. So when you write C0, it gives this is C0. This entire first list is this. Entire list is C0. Okay. So this we can understand it to be this C0 would refer to this entire. Okay, and this is C1, the entire second list. Okay, so C0 gives 1, 3, 5 and C1 gives 2, 4, 6. Now let's suppose we want this element 3. We don't want the entire list, we just want this element 3. So now we know that this is C0, and this is which element of C0? This is 0, 1. That means the second element is 1. So we will write C0, 1, which should give us the second element of C0, that is 3. Okay, so let us try this, how nesting can be done. So I'm going to create a list here. A is equal to 1, 3, 5. Okay, list of odd numbers, and we're going to create another list. B is equal to 2, 4, 6, a list of even numbers. Now I'm going to create a third list. C is equal to A, B. Okay, now when you print C, so you get something like this. Okay, so now what is C0? C0 is this entire list. This is C0, then this is C1. Okay, this second list. So if you say C1, we get 2, 4, 6. Now let's suppose we want this number 3. So, okay, that means this is the second element of the first list, which is C0. Okay, so we will write C0 and C0 comma 1. Okay, not C0 comma 1, we'll write C0 and 1. So this gives you 3. Okay, so C0, 1, that means from the first list you get the second element. This is 1. Now what if we want this 6 here? So we should write this as C1. This entire list is C1, and this is 0, 1, 2. So what we will write here is C1, 2. Okay, so we get 6 here. C1, 2 is 6. Okay, so this is how we can extract elements from a nested list. Okay, now moving on. This was a mistake here, so it should be square bracket. Okay, this is a mistake. This should not be written like this. So it is the way I've told you there in the demo. So like this, has to be 2 square brackets, not comma. This is wrong. Okay, so it has to be like this. Now moving on to the next example. We can use length function with lists. So if we have a list here, and when we use length function, it gives you the number of items in the list or the number of elements in the list. So in this case, we have a list of 4 elements. So let's try this command. So this function, length function with list. So we have a list here, A. Okay, so we have a list A. So when you write len A, it should give you 3, because how many elements are there in the list? 3 elements are there. Okay, and similarly, let's suppose okay, now we don't have any other list. If B, again, this what is the length of B? Length of B is again 3 only. Okay, so these are some of the operations which we can do on lists, and in my next video I'll be covering some more some of the functions which we can use with lists. And so do watch that video also, because that will give you a complete understanding of lists. So this was starting with lists. These are a few commands which you can do on lists, and I hope that you like the video, and please if you like the video, do click on the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel estudy.in, and thanks for watching.